Peter, I know you've got something to say here.
Well, I disagree. First of all, demand is unlimited. Americans want everything. The problem is we can't afford it because we don't produce it. What we need is more production. We have an enormous trade deficit. The problem is supply, and our economy can't supply the goods because there's too much government. There's too much regulation. There's too much taxes. There's too much spending. And of course, what we don't really want.
I mean, let me stop you right there. The real problem is that
there's
not enough spending. There's not enough spending by middle-class consumers.
No, there's too much
not enough
spending.
purchasing power
That's how
in the
we got
economy.
into this mess.
There's not people that can walk into local businesses and can buy things. Because when businesses need to sell things,
let's let Peter finish his thought first.
Too much money. Yeah, we're drowning in debt because we spent too much. We have to save. We're not going to have real production until we have more savings, more investment, and the Fed is fighting that. And we don't really want jobs. What we want is the production that comes from good jobs. We don't want government jobs. They make us poorer. They sap the wealth out of the private sector and they squander it on wasteful spending. We don't need those kind of jobs. We can't afford those kind of jobs.
I mean, two-thirds of Americans support putting teachers, firefighters, and cops back to work with federal funds. So what you need to recognize is that those are real jobs in our communities that create purchasing power, that those people walk into local businesses, they buy things, and when companies need to sell things and produce things, that's when the economy is really humming.
But purchasing power comes from production.
All right,
we need
you guys are giving me a heart attack here.
If we just
we've got a
hire
couple
more
minutes.
teachers and more
Peter and Ryan, we've got a couple minutes
we're not
left.
going to get more production.
Bear with me, Peter. I've got to change the topic just very slightly here, so we don't get too wild. But part of what Bernanke does is trying to do, and this has to do with the unemployment as well, is there's been these claims out there by a lot of folks that a lot of the private sector, including entrepreneurs, and I'm sure we would all agree that it's good to have small business owners have access to capital. The question is, can we agree that this either helps or hurts entrepreneurialism in the United States by giving small business owners access to basically small business loans? And Peter, we're going to start with you.
No. They're not giving business access to anything. They're giving Wall Street access to cheap money that they can speculate with. But what we need is savings to have real credit, and we're not getting any of that because in order to have legitimate credit that is going to go to business, people have to deposit money in banks, and no one's doing that because no one is saving. The Fed has a 0% interest rates, so we're not going to grow the economy. Small business is not going to get credit. All the credit is being diverted by the Fed to the government to finance the deficits and to finance the mortgage market. In fact, the Fed, as its stated goal, is to reflate a housing bubble. The Fed hopes that it could have an economic recovery by printing money and lending it to Americans at ultra-low rates, hoping they'll use it to speculate in the real estate market,
I want to give Ryan a chance here to comment, Peter, on this before we go. Ryan, will it or will it not help entrepreneurship in terms of small business owners?
Well, what we need is small businesses in this country because they create two-thirds of jobs, right? So anything that's going to help small businesses get back on their feet and start hiring again, start producing goods, and start selling more products, that's a good thing in my book. I don't think we need to be giving Wall Street cheap cash and devaluing the dollar. They already got bailed out. You know, they're the ones who crashed this economy in the first place. And last time I checked, Wall Street profits are soaring at record levels. What we need right now is a middle class Reconstruction Act. We need to put the middle class back to work. We need a jobs program in this country so that people can afford to put a roof over their head, to provide for their families, and have a little money left over to enjoy life.
The best jobs program is free market capitalism. That's what we need. We need the government to get out of the way. We need the central bank to get out of the way. We need
but I can safely
money.
say that you guys at least agree on part of the discussion. Peter Schiff, thank you so much, as always. A pleasure. And Ryan, great to have you here inside the studio. We're going to certainly have you back again. I don't remember a time when these Fed decisions created so much controversy.